Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and today we're going to take a look at the cities of Sigmar, and in particular, Hammerhal. In this video we're going to talk about what makes Hammerhal special, and indeed the cities of Sigmar faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry. We'll then look at a few units we can use to start off our collection for Warcry, and then look at some other units to grab after those first couple of initial purchases to build upon our initial purchases, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample warband of 1,000 renown for you to use as some inspiration for creating your own Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry warband for the cities of Sigmar Hammerhal. Now, looking into this, you can find all the rules for these on Warhammer Community in the download section on the Warhammer Community website. There's a ton of free Warcry rules for download there. Now, Cities of Sigmar are a really interesting faction in Warcry. They actually have many different factions within Warcry for a bunch of different cities. And how this sort of works is you actually use the same pool of miniatures for them. All the cities use this same lot of miniatures, but depending on which city you choose to be from, depends which abilities you get access to, and these will determine which sort of models fit best into that particular city based on the abilities you can use. Now, Hammerhal is a really interesting city. It has a wide variety of abilities. This allows you for a great spread of units, allows you to include lots of different models and really make a nice, cool, unique warband, but also allows you to use all the doubles, all the triples, all the quads that you roll. You're going to have uses for all those abilities almost all the time just because you've got so many different fighters in your warband. They've got a cool reaction as well, where they do allow their models to get some extra toughness when they're attacked, which is really nice. This can turn even some of your more flimsy troops into really solid defensive troops for their points cost, or indeed can actually make some of your mid-range troops that have got pretty basic good defense even tougher to take down. And so, where do we look to begin? I think a great place to start is looking at the Warden King for the cities of Sigmar, especially in Hammerhal. The Warden King is a solid defensive unit available to you. For 150 renown, you're going to get 22 wounds and a toughness of 5. This is just really solid. For me, he definitely outshines in this particular city that has, that bulwark needed ability for one of their main doubles, which is Form Shield Wall, where until the end of the battle round, you add one to the toughness characteristic of anything with a Cities of Sigmar faction rune mark and the Bulwark rune mark whilst they're within 3 inches. So he really can hold that line well. The other mod you've got to consider here is the Nomad Prince, who is 20 points more expensive, only has a defense of 4 and has less wounds, so isn't as great defensively, but does pack out some shooting attack and has a nice 2-inch reach on there as well. Alongside this, if we're going to go with this, I think Longbeards are the way to go. For the points cost, I think they are the best defensive troop you're going to have access to. So you've got 70 points, you're going to get 3 attacks at strength 3, 2, 4 on the damage. But you're going to have toughness 5 and 12 wounds there as well. The 2, 4 on the damage is really nice in comparison. When you're looking at 10 points less, you drop down to 1, 3, going with an Ironbreaker. Or you can instead look at going into the Free Guild units and look at Free Guild Guard in there as well, with their Sword and Shield version, which drops down to defense 4, and you're only getting 3 attacks at 1, 3 on the damage there as well. Looking at another nice unit we have, and that is the Free Guild Greatswords. Free Guild Greatswords are going to have a really nice ability you can bring into the game, which is going to be called Pulverizing Strike. Until the end of this fighter's activation, you can add half the value of this ability to the damage point allocated by each critical hit from melee attacks made by the fighter, which is really nice. You're going to get 3 attacks out of a Free Guild fighter with the Greatsword there. I think these are just really nice. For the points cost, I think they are the best choice you're going to be able to get for that. You, of course, can go with some other options in your Free Guild for some nice other options. You could go with things like Executioners into the units. They're going to be able to do this as well. Though they're going to pack an extra attack, they are going to cost sufficiently more than that Free Guild Greatsword. Going to cost you an extra 20 renown per model there. Where to look next? I think another hero that's really interesting you've got is going to be the Rune Lord. He's going to be able to bring the Forge Fire ability to the fray, which is going to be working on a double. I always like fighters that can bring doubles, especially as secondary heroes. These are really nice. So until the end of the battle round, add half the value of this ability to the strength characteristic of a melee attack actions made by a friendly fighter within 9 inch of the fighter that uses this. So can be something really nice, can really boost up what you generally have as cheap troops, can be boosted up really nicely with some extra strength. Demigryph Knights are another unit I really like the look of to bring in. First of all, you're going to have the Cavalry Charge triple, which is going to be really nice to use for them. Until the end of this fighter's activation, the next time this fighter finishes a move within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, you pick an enemy fighter within 1 inch and allocate a number of damage points equal to the value of this ability. This on top of the fact that Demigryph Knights are pretty solid in their own right. 20 wounds and toughness 5, which is pretty good for Cities of Sigmar units. You've not got a lot of units that pay out that many wounds. 4 attacks at strength 3, 2-5 on the damage is going to be nice as well. Like I said, you're generally lacking that strength, so the ability to get some Forge Fire in there and to be able to add some extra strength in there from your Forge Fire onto a Demigryph Knight is really nice. Now, another ability we have is the ability called Rapid Redeploy for a double, where a fighter can only use this ability if they are within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, and they can make a bonus disengage action. This is really cool and allows you to pull some nice tricks. Things like Shadow Warriors and Dark Riders are really cool for this. They can go in, hit some extra attacks, and then sneak out of the combat and go steal objectives off your opponent. Really cool stuff to be able to do. And lastly, we have Free Guild Handgunners. I particularly like them in this when you've got the Sergeant that can use the volley of shots for a triple. We add half the value of this ability to the attacks of your next attack action. This can be really cool, being able to, pack out a max of 6 shots out of the fighter if you've got that repeater handgun on your marksman there. A nice, solid, ranged fighter for the warband. And so this is the loadout for the warband we've chosen to go with. We've got our Warden King in here, who is going to be our champion. He's just going to be a really solid line hero that's going to be able to hold the line with some of the other units we've got. Now we've then got the Rune Lord in there. The bonus strength definitely is needed. We do lack that on some of our heavy hitters, especially that Demigryph Knight is going to get a load of power out of that double there. Lastly, a marksman with repeater handgun, remembering in the new edition of Warcry, no matter what version of the game you're playing, open, narrative, or matched, you have the ability to take 3 leader options now, which is really cool. This allows us to take the marksman with repeater handgun, giving us some good ranged ability in this warband as well. We've then got fighters, 2 Free Guild Greatswords. Like I said, the fact we're saving 40 renown here on them compared to executioners, I think is, for me, the big thing here. They do lack one of the extra attacks, and you probably can find some points. Maybe if you want to get one executioner, drop one of the Longbeards down to an Ironbreaker, and you've probably got enough points to get at least one executioner in there. But you've also got the Demigryph Knight in here, who I think is just essential. A really strong, hard-hitting, maneuverable fighter. He's really going to be essential to your warband. And also just the fact he can just deal out damage by moving into people is nice. 2 Longbeards with ancestral weapons and Gromril shields hold the line for us. They're just going to be, sitting around that Warden King and being the big bulk, sitting on any home objectives, potentially trying to take any treasure that's not too deep within the board. Lastly, a Shadow Warrior just gives us a nice little bit of extra range power, as well as a really maneuverable fighter. While, they're not as, fast as a Demigryph Knight, they do have the ability to get some extra movement into the fight and be that little bit more versatile than some of the other units we have access to. 990 renown out of 1,000 means we do have some points to play around with. And then 129 wounds is pretty much smack bang in that sort of average range for wounds. That's the end of the video, everyone. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, drop us a comment down below in the comments section and let us know what you enjoyed about the video and what you'd like to see more of on the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here we have at Sinful Gaming, you can do so on our Discord server, which is linked in the video's description. Also linked in the video's description is our Patreon and YouTube members, where you can go to help support the channel and allow us to keep doing what we're doing. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Greenskins Gaming, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giapi390, and to our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, and Monty's Tabletop Terrain. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you all for watching. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now, everyone.